Hello everyone, today is day 2 of our enlarged self-portrait. For today we're going to need obviously our drawing board or self-portrait that we already started, our pencil box, hopefully you still have it from day 1, an eraser and a pencil sharpener.
Now put everything to the side and proceed to open your pencil box. Inside you will find 12 different pencils of various size and shade.
And they'll have numbers and letters. These letters as well as numbers, they tell you how dark or light a pencil is. So the graphites are baked and compressed at a different degrees, which it gives them different values. So some of them are darker than others. 8 is the lightest shade, as you can see, and then we can go to the extreme of 9B, which is the darkest. Oh boy, everything's falling. 2 different pencils, different shades, different strength. Alright, so what I want you to do is like spend 4 or 5 minutes just trying out every single pencil. I want you to do some cross hatching, some shading, some ovals, a lot of different shading techniques, and I want you to label them. So this one, I did it with pencil H, and I want you to repeat this with every single pencil. This is HB, same idea, do some hatching, some cross hatching, label it, and repeat the process with every single pencil. Why do I want you to do this? Because I want you to get familiarized with how dark and how each of these individual pencils work on your paper. I don't want you to just grab any random pencil. This one is 7B, and then you start doing a very light area like the teeth, and then you go in and oh my god, too dark, and then you can't come back from that. So for that, if you're gonna do any type of shading, for example in a white area like my eyes, my teeth, and my shirt, I want you to start to know that the lightest shade is H, and then you automatically will know what to do with that. So go ahead and practice.
Now that we had some practice, it's time to start the outline of our self-portrait.
This will be our third step and final one for today. As you can see, I have already started drawing one of the eyes. Hopefully it looks alike. But yeah, so the beauty of the grid is that everything is perfectly placed in one specific spot. So if you don't know where to put it, just guide yourself by the numbers. So you see how both of my eyes are located on line 6 going horizontally, and I'll say the left one to me, is located on line 4 and 5 going vertically, and the opposite eye is line 7 and 8 going vertically. So the same thing we are going to do on our grid, on our large grid. So this is line 6, I don't know if you can see that, line 6, and then on one vertical, 7 and 8, that's where my second eye is going to be. So let's go ahead and do that together. So as you can see on square number 7, my eye is almost touching the corner but not really. You see that? So that's exactly where I'm going to try to do my first mark. Remember to start with HB or maybe an H, which is our lightest shade, to begin this first outline. So let's just try with the pencil H and let's get going. So right here they're about the same angle, maybe a little bit sideways, so I'm going to try to achieve the same thing here. So that will be the top of my eye, and then the bottom of my eye right here, almost touching the line but not quite. So same idea right here, and then I'm gonna connect my guides, and then as I best fit, I will give them a more like an oval shade and give it more of an organic kind of look. Now the end of my eye right here, this is almost at the middle of square 8 going down, but not really. So it's in the middle but not in the complete middle going down, so it's more like down here, right there. Now we're gonna connect them. Perfect. And now I'm gonna go with my makeup. It's easier to start with the inside of the eye and then work on the makeup, because like that you have a guide to start drawing the makeup. Now don't get too fixated on both eyes looking exactly the same, because in the real world my eyes don't exactly look the same. One is like higher than the other one, so don't be too perfectionist. If you need to modify, go ahead, go back, erase, fix it until you feel comfortable with it. Add some details if you want to. It doesn't really matter right now at this stage, because we are going to go back later on with a different shade and get this more of a dark color. And now make sure to add the eyelid. As you see right here, I have a line which is my eyelid, so let's make sure that we add that. See where it is in the upper part of this line, so that's where we're gonna do it. Maybe not that high, should be a little bit lower. I think like this one should be higher, and that's okay if you need to erase. I mean, nothing comes out perfect the first time. And now we add the pupil, the cornea, whatever you want to call that. You see how the line goes through the side of my cornea? I might need to adjust this. I feel like it's too much to the right and not enough to the left. So let's fix this. Perfect. And now remember, you should not have a full circle inside of your eye because part of your eye is covered by your eyelid, so it's fine that the circle gets cut off by your eyelid. And we add some details, and I feel happy. That looks pretty good. It looks like it's in the right place. I'm just gonna check 8 with 8, 7 with 7, and they're both in 6. Perfect. My eyes are completed. This is a technique I like to do for teeth. So I don't draw the entire teeth. I only draw the little piece where the bone meets. It's like a little triangle. And then I don't draw the teeth all the way down. I just do that little square and then do a little triangle on the bottom. Do the shape in the bottom of the teeth. Do shape down here and then do another triangle and continue with the triangles. I don't fully draw a complete line for each individual teeth. I just draw this little tiny triangle. And those triangles are basically the division between one tooth and another. And I think it comes out pretty realistic by just doing that instead of actually drawing a harsh line. Now let's do the shape of the head. Same idea. My head looks like a freaking egg. So we're gonna do the egg shape following the square. So on line 1, on square 4, I have a little bit of the egg all the way on the top. Then on line 2, square 5, I have a little triangle left on the top. And then we follow on line 2, square 4, continue with the egg-like shape, passing through line 3, a square 4. Still a floating head, but we're getting there. We continue on square 6, line 1. We're a little bit higher than the middle of the square. We continue to square 7. Then we have, I think my part is happening right here on square 7. So I'm gonna do a guide for my part and then come back, continue on square 8, line 1. And then on 9, on line 3, square 9. Oh, I messed up. I'm going too far. I need to come back and only do less than half of the square with my hair. So, all the way to line 10. And then on line 11, a square 10. Wait, I need to go back. It's down here. That's when my hair starts coming out, taking a curve because I have a nice little curl going on here. Make sure that when you're erasing the grid lines, you don't completely erase them all. Use the darkest ones and the ones that you're probably not gonna need, because eventually you're gonna have to use these grid lines to add your values. Imagine you start adding value right here in the line 6, square 7, but because you don't have the grid line anymore, you do the shading a little bit off to the right. So make sure you don't fully erase them, but try to make them as light as you can, since later on it's gonna be more difficult to get rid of them. All right, so that is it.
For next meeting, make sure to have your entire outline completed.